I'm here on behalf of Business North Harbour, and I can't tell you, David Wilson from IT360. Given the current situation that we're all in, I'm here representing all the businesses, but be under no illusion, I also have a personal issue here. We're all starting to work from home. How the hell do we start doing this? Okay, so we're sitting at work. We now know that we need to move out of the office, and we're being instructed, or we're making the decision to self-isolate and start working at home. What are the first things we need to start thinking about in the IT space?
Yeah, look, there are so many, and thank you for the questions. Look, as a business, I think leadership is where we start. Leaders need to be really mindful that with their teams, whether they're in one office or many offices, whether they're already distributed across the world, everyone's different. The first thing we need to do is create clarity around what it is that we believe in. How do we ensure that our culture stays strong? And how do we create clarity and communication within our team? Now, there are a whole lot of technical things and non-technical things when it comes to working remotely, and I'm sure we'll talk about a few of those things.
I've got a business, right? And I've got, I don't know, pick a number any, I've got 10 members of staff, right? And whatever my business is, we can still function, for now anyway, from home if we set up. So what is it, as the leader or an owner of this business, what is it I need to do? What is it I need to communicate with them, right? Right? I get the communication bit, David, right? But what is it I'm saying?
Yeah, very good. So I've written a few thoughts of the things that we've done as a business, and that might be a good point to start. Because as a company, we did it ourselves. So starting on Monday, our leadership team got together. We got around a whiteboard and said, how are we going to do this? Because being a technical company, it feels like, we're the ones that can do it because we're all technical. But even being a technical company doesn't mean it's just all roses and it's all easy, right? So what we did is we whiteboarded exactly what we want to communicate to our staff. We established a work from home policy first, and we're happy to share this with the community as well. We established a pandemic crisis plan. We're happy to share that with everybody. So that talks about what do we need to do? How do we communicate? What's our shared language? We talk to staff one-on-one about the health and safety of their workplace, which is at home. We make sure everyone actually has a space, because not everyone has a spare room. Some of our staff had to set up on the lounge room, dining room table. We talked about, and we decided internally, what's our stance on company equipment? Do we allow our staff to take home the monitors and the mouses and the headsets that the company owns, and they could be taken home at this point? Will we see them again? Hopefully we will, but we've got to trust our staff. As leaders, we've got to make sure that we are trusting our people to do the right thing in this case, and we're all in this together, ultimately, aren't we? We emailed our customers about our plans and intentions to work from home, so they knew what we were doing. We talked about our internal policy around social distancing and what we're going to do as a team to commit to this, to do our part, right? And then ultimately we decided, so this is Monday, ultimately on Wednesday we decided everybody's going to work from home, and we appointed myself and my operations manager to put the plan together. Again, I'm happy to share any plans that we've put up with any of the business community, because if we can save you 10 hours of time at this point, it's going to be...
I'm going to interrupt, and can I just say that anybody who is watching or listening to this now, that is what it looks like when you lean in and you take leadership in a community. It's not a space of mine. It's, I've done my homework and I'm prepared to share it with everybody. I just want to stop and make that point, because in my world, just like yours, we're all coming at this from different reasons. The difference of how we're all going to survive this is how we as individual human beings lean in, rely on our values, and take care of each other. Okay, so we will find a way. Sian says, like she knows how, I don't. There are magicians behind me who know how to do this. So this information that you're going to share, the action plans, the policies, the processes that you've learnt from, we're gonna find a way of making those available on the Business North Harbour website, says Sean, turning around, looking, finding eyes with anybody who is going to wave at me and say, yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, so there we go. There's something immediately tangible.
We've also put a website together, it360.co.nz/COVID-19.
Okay.
We're putting everything we have on that. That's stuff that we curate from other people that we think is the best of the best, and stuff that we've created ourselves. It's all going to go on there, targeted to 3 audiences: managers, owners, and individual staff.
So again, let me clarify. Business North Harbour is, if you like, I want people to think of it like an umbrella, yes? And there are a lot of people that they're going to be trying to shield and help, yes? You are one of the specific areas in this that is going to, everybody is going to need your advice. So you go to the Business North Harbour website, but this is exactly what we're talking about. You are one of the organisations, one of the businesses that has the specific details that people are going to need. Okay, let's bring this down to ABC now, right? So the thing that I've been asked to ask you, Wi-Fi broadband, limits, speeds, requirements, plans, options. Okay, there we go. What am I talking about when I'm using those words?
You're talking about the practical connection that people have at their houses. Now, we are lucky in New Zealand to have a fairly strong network across the country, luckier than some countries. Every person at this time, when we're at the office, we rely on what's typically a nice, healthy, strong corporate network. And when we go to our houses, we're going to have varying degrees of speed, slow, good Wi-Fi coverage, bad Wi-Fi coverage, and everything in between. So the reality is, when we're beginning to assess our businesses, every single person needs to have at least a connection of some kind. If they've got ADSL or VDSL, maybe we get fibre. If they've got fibre, they're probably doing okay. The good news is, over the last 2 or 3 years, I think Telco New Zealand has done a fantastic job, and they really have increased the overall level of fibre in the house and the general household. I think some people that may struggle would be people that have larger houses, or if a router is on one side of the house and they work on the other side.
Okay, you've just mentioned where the router is and where the human being is, all right? I know this is 101, right? And you want to laugh at me, but I really don't know. So are you saying that when I go home now and set up my home office, that it would be sensible and prudent to try and do that logistically as close to the router as humanly possible?
100%.
Right.
You know what?
Please don't laugh at me.
No, no, definitely not. So if you think about even just sound, if the closer you are to me, the louder it is.
Okay.
If you're in the other room, you're going to hear me, but just a little bit quieter. Okay. If you're far away, it's going to be unaudible.
So here's 101.
Router.
Try and find out where the router is and try and set up your office as close to it as possible.
So that's typically the lounge, typically a room next to the lounge or something like that.
Okay.
Yes.
David, one of the questions that I'm being asked to ask you is hotspotting. Yes. So let's go back to the ABC. What is it? Even if we've got it, some of us don't even know we've got it. So what is it?
Hotspotting refers to the use of the 3G or 4G mobile connection on our phones, and being able to use that connection on our desktops or laptops.
Brilliant. Okay.
Our laptops have the ability to connect to our phones and use the internet from that for the internet. Now, this is a great, in my opinion, a great short-term solution if you had no other option. But in terms of reliability, it's going to be varied across the country because the 4G and 3G coverage, as we all know, varies. As well, there are some practical things. It will drain your battery. If you're getting phone calls throughout the day, you're going to be actually in stress because your phone will drain 3 times as fast, and you're trying to make phone calls. So practically, if you can avoid hotspotting by using your home internet connection, or I'm sure other people could use cafe Wi-Fi or some other things, depending on some public services have Wi-Fi in certain areas as well. Hotspotting would be something that you can do, but I recommend you avoiding it if you have other options.
Firewalls and online security. I think that's everybody. Especially, and there are a lot of specific businesses that are going to be very, very worried about that. Ultimately,
this is a very near and dear issue to my heart because, cybersecurity is rampant and it's only going to increase. COVID-19 represents a threat to everybody in so many ways, but it represents an opportunity, unfortunately, to the cyber hackers who can actually profit even more out of a situation by preying on people that they could say send phishing emails to people or capture details or credentials for people that are unaware. So if you think about cybersecurity like an umbrella that covers an office, typically when we go to work, we are protected by the umbrella inside of an office. Yes. In the office, the business typically spends money, thousands of dollars on cybersecurity, but when we're working from home, we are outside of that umbrella. Yep. So the two things that matter are what device am I using and also me as an individual. So business leaders should be thinking about, firstly, how are we educating and training our staff? Because we are ultimately the first line of defense. Is there something we can do to add into our training plan in the next week or two to help our staff be just a little bit better than they were yesterday? Awareness of cybersecurity. What does a phishing email look like? What types of things should we be looking out for? Because that's part of the problem.
So if I go onto your website, IT360, am I going to find all these pearls of wisdom?
We commit to putting as much around these topics on the it360.co.nz/COVID-19 website. We'll have every topic covered.
Okay, so let me just reiterate what I've heard you say. That there are unscrupulous human beings that are going to see this as an opportunity. Yes. They damn well know that you've come out of the safety of this umbrella. Correct. And they are literally going to be focusing. Again, I don't want to be alarmist, but people need to be clear that they have, this is ABC responsibility of thinking, yeah? Okay, so speak to the organisation and your bosses, ask them to explain to you what level of security is needed, get your head around what kind of level of security you already have.
Correct.
Yeah, because again, I am one of those human beings, and I'll admit it openly. I tend to delegate the responsibility of anything IT to different human beings in my house. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good, but in these times, in this moment, there are fundamentals that even I have to take responsibility for, and the security. Is a fundamental part of that. Yeah.
100%. The other piece of that. So I've talked about the human element. The other piece of that is the practical element. We've all heard of things like antivirus and things like that. There are certain technologies that some businesses will have and some businesses won't have. Yeah. That better protects a laptop or an endpoint device better than some. So antivirus is one thing. There are 2 or 3 other types of remote endpoint protection that we offer as a business that will do a much better job in a situation like this. And they are designed to be like a remote umbrella that travels with the individual. Yeah. It's designed to help people in a cafe or, in this case, a remote office. So there are many IT companies out there. I encourage every IT company to be proactive with their businesses, or if you're in a business and you don't feel like you are getting the answers that you're looking for, we're happy to help.
I want to reiterate what you kind of said before we got on camera. No question is a daft question. Yep. Don't be intimidated by this, that you are here to support people. Yeah?
Yep. And I wanted to say one more thing. We've also created a tool. It's actually a self-assessment tool, which we'll make available as well. A business owner or a leader can go to that tool, and it's 10 simple yes/no questions, which we can ask, which will cover cybersecurity, network capabilities, and other areas. And that tool will then, once you go through it, you put your name and email address in, you will get an email report saying, we think you're doing well on these areas and you're not doing so well on these areas. Now, it's up to you to take that report internally and share it with your team, or if of course you want to work with us on how do we fix these areas, we're here to help. So we've given a self-assessment report to anyone who wants to use it, specifically around remote work and COVID.
Again, another example of companies that are leaning in, offering support to everybody, sharing their knowledge. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn for all of us.
100%.
David, thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
I know we've only just begun to touch this as a subject, but I think you've certainly given me some confidence. And I feel a lot better now that I can get on the internet and find out what is it I need to be doing. So this is David Wilson from IT360 coming to share with us your pearls of wisdom with Business North Harbour. Look after yourself, David. Keep safe. Send our best to everybody in your organisation. And I think it's likely we'll be speaking again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. See you.